Welcome. I'm Tracy Smith, and this is Here Comes the Sun, a closer look at some of the people, places, and things we bring you every weekend on Sunday morning. Mexican-American actor and activist Eva Longoria is proud of her roots. And as she told Lee Cowan, eager to create more opportunities for Latinos, both in front of and behind the camera.
This is the Academy Award room.
That's in the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures.
Screenplay, directing, best film, best movie. E.T.'s over here.
Where she was quick to point out that in the acting categories, there's only been a handful of Latino winners.
Latinos are 23% of the box office tickets sold. Do I think we should be more than 5% in characters on film? Yes. You know, so yeah, is it frustrating? Absolutely.
Later in the show, Eva Longoria on her early aspirations.
When you first started here, you kept working.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I
mean,
came...
just in case the acting thing didn't turn out right, you were
well,
like...
I didn't grow up wanting to be an actor.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks like, oh, you know, you have these dreams of holding an Academy Award. I didn't. We had 3 channels. We didn't have cable. We didn't, you know, it wasn't celebrity culture and this, obviously, social media, and we're not inundated with it as we are now. We weren't then, and so I just knew I was going to be successful. I don't know what I was going to be, but I was like, I'm going to be so successful. I wanted to be successful.
Then we'll hear from Seth Doane in Italy, where he explores the homes and everyday objects unearthed from the ruins of Pompeii.
There is a fascination with the little details of life, seeing the little glasses or the plates or knowing about the food that they ate. It's those details that are the most interesting in some ways.
And then you put them into the larger picture, and then you can start thinking about, well, if this was the situation in Pompeii, what can we take from that for the economy and the society of the entire Roman Empire?
That's all coming up right here on Here Comes the Sun. Eva Longoria may be best known for her breakout role as Gabby on the hit TV show Desperate Housewives. But it's her interests in political advocacy, Mexican cuisine, and directing that are keeping her busy these days. Lee Cowan caught up with her in Los Angeles.
People think Mexico's just about tacos and tequila, and today we're going to have tacos and tequila.
When Eva Longoria invited us over to her Beverly Hills home for lunch, well, we assumed it was just that, lunch. But she also served up a bit of culinary history, too.
You know, Mexican cuisine is the only cuisine in its entirety protected by UNESCO as a World Heritage Treasure.
Is that right?
Yeah. Corn, beans, chile, chocolate, vanilla, avocado.
And, of course, tequila.
We're not going to get too drunk so your producers don't get scared.
That's a ranch water cocktail, a drink most say was born in Texas.
Taste that. That's for you.
While that noodle dish, fideo, is thoroughly Mexican. A bicultural menu just like Longoria herself.
When I'm in the United States, oh, you're Mexican. And when I go to Mexico, they go, oh, the American. I'm like, wait, yeah, I'm both. I'm 100% Mexican and 100% American at the same time.
She was raised in Corpus Christi, Texas, but her Mexican roots date back some 13 generations, when the King of Spain, she says, granted her ancestors some land in what is now South Texas.
And you still have it?
We still have that land. If you look at an older map, it says Longoria Road.
Hola. Hola, buenos días, bienvenida.
Longoria now spends about half her time living in Mexico with her husband and 4-year-old son.
You have to come here when you're in Mexico City.
So when Stanley Tucci of CNN's Searching for Italy fame approached Longoria about doing her own international food series, she knew right where to go.
The people here are so secure in who they are and where they come from.
Eres un artista.
Searching for Mexico on CNN is just as expansive and informative as its Italian counterpart.
Wow. This cooked onions in the grease that's falling from the pork.
Yeah, it's amazing, the flavor.
It's like a game changer.
But she also hopes the series will offer a deeper message about valuing the often overlooked contributions of Latinos and Hispanics in general.
This is the Academy Award room.
That's in the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures.
Screenplay, directing, best film, best movie. E.T.'s over here.
Where she was quick to point out that in the acting categories, there's only been a handful of Latino winners.
Latinos are 23% of the box office tickets sold. Do I think we should be more than 5% in characters on film? Yes. You know, so yeah, is it frustrating? Absolutely.
It's easy to forget the role that made her famous on ABC's Desperate Housewives was really a big step toward diversity.
Welcome to the neighborhood.
Well, I am Gabrielle Solis.
Would it be better if we came back at another time?
There weren't a lot of Latinas on network television back then, but her character, Gabby Solis, became a sassy, sultry superstar.
This table is hand-carved. Carlos had it imported from Italy. It cost him $23,000.
You want to do it on the table this time?
Absolutely.
I quickly realized I was going to have a platform or a voice. And my mentor, Dolores Huerta, is the one that actually told me that. She said, one day you're going to have a voice, so you better have something to say.
Down with racism! Abajo! Down with sexism! Abajo!
That's Dolores Huerta, who spent most of her life fighting for the rights of Latinos. Longoria had similar passions, but she didn't want people to listen just because she was a celebrity.
This is a movement, people!
She wanted them to listen because she actually knew what she was talking about.
This machine got me through my master's.
Yes, she said master's, as in degree. She got it going to night school at Cal State Northridge while still filming Desperate Housewives.
What did the other students think?
You know,
they obviously knew who you were.
They were so generous with me. I mean, the big reason I wanted to get my master's was to better understand where we came from so I could help my community go to where they needed to be.
In 2013, she graduated with that master's in Chicano Studies.
It was born from a derogatory term for a community that was seen as less than. And during the civil rights movement, we reclaimed it and we said, you know what? We are. I am a Chicano. I am a Chicana.
And action!
When she began directing, she could cast Latino actors and hire Latino crews and do stories about Latinos themselves.
This is the Cheeto factory that we built.
Like her first feature film.
Burns good or burns bad?
It burns good.
It's called Flamin' Hot, a film based on the story of Richard Montañez, a Mexican-American factory worker at Frito-Lay, who claims his blend of homemade spices was the basis for the Flaming Hot Cheeto.
I felt in my bones nobody else could direct this movie. I felt that in my bones.
By all accounts, Montañez was a gifted marketer of Hispanic products. In fact, PepsiCo, which owns Frito-Lay, said he did help launch Flamin' Hot Cheetos. But the company also said we do not credit the product creation to him and him alone.
Did that give you pause?
No, you know, we never set out to do the history of the Cheeto. There's a lot of people in his life that said, no. Ideas don't come from people like you, you know. No, that opportunity is not for somebody like you. I've felt that.
And she's using her name to make sure no one else feels that way.
The Eva Longoria who worked at Wendy's flipping burgers, she needed a tax break. But the Eva Longoria who works on movie sets does not.
She's campaigned for both President Obama and Biden. And in 2014, she co-founded a political action committee.
We're here with Latino Victory Project today, which increases Latino political power.
Have you gotten any pushback by being so politically active?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Yes.
And I know you said you don't ever really want to run for office yourself.
Yeah, no.
But with your platform and your education, why not?
Here's the thing. The reality is you don't have to be a politician to be political. And I think that's the biggest myth. People go, you should run for office so you can make a difference. I am making a difference.
Yeah. And it turns out she can make a pretty good cocktail, too.
Thank you for lunch.
Thank you for coming
It's amazing.
over.
Eva Longoria may have been a desperate housewife back on Wisteria Lane, but now she's desperate for change. And that's a road, she says, that never really ends.
People always go, oh my God, that show you did back then, that was amazing. Must have been the highlight of your career. And I was like, yeah, but wait till you see what's coming. And they say, what's coming? I don't know, but it's going to be good.
Up next, an exclusive excerpt from Eva Longoria's chat. You can only see right here on CBS News Streaming. Stay with us.
When we were pulling in, and I was like, oh my God, who's here? Is Bono here?
As promised, here's more from Lee Cowan's conversation with Eva Longoria.
We have one thing in common, which is that we both worked at Wendy's.
You worked at
I worked at
Wendy's?
I did.
When?
I probably worked there before you did. We still had the colors were white and blue striped.
Okay.
And the tables still had that old-fashioned newspapers on them.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah.
I had to wipe down many of those
Yes,
tables.
Yeah. But you got that job. Why?
Because I wanted a quinceañera, and my parents didn't want to pay for my quinceañera. We're 4 girls in my family, and I'm the baby. And they were like, hey, look, none of your sisters got a quinceañera. You're not getting a quinceañera. And they're very expensive. They're baby weddings. I mean, they're very expensive. And I was like, well, I'm going to pay for my own quinceañera. So I went, and I got a job in secret. I would go after school and not tell my parents where I went. And I'd come home smelling like fries until one day my teacher came in, and she's like, what are you doing here? And I was like, you don't know me. So my mom finds out. My mom's like, look, okay. But, my parents weren't allergic to me working. They just really wanted to make sure I was studying as well.
Yeah.
So I worked there forever. It felt like forever, all through high school, a little bit of college. Yeah. And I did everything: flip burgers, French fries, drive-through, toasting the buns, washing dishes, cleaning the tables.
Yeah. Did you like it? I mean, was it?
I liked earning $1.
Yeah.
Like, I liked the idea, even like the idea of like overtime. Wait, you get time and a half for overtime? I'll sign up. Like, I just loved the idea of working hard and getting rewarded. And so I would just save my paychecks, and it all went towards, my quinceañera. And I had a baby quinceañera. I got to have a baby. Once my parents saw how hard I was working because I really wanted this thing, and I took initiative to do it myself, then they were like, okay, maybe we'll help you a little bit.
And even when you first started here, you kept working.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I
mean,
came-
just in case the acting thing didn't turn out right, you were
Well,
like.
I didn't grow up wanting to be an actor.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks like, oh, you have these dreams of holding an Academy Award. I didn't. We had 3 channels. We didn't have cable. We didn't. It wasn't celebrity culture and this, obviously, social media, and we're not inundated with it as we are now. We weren't then, and so I just knew I was going to be successful. I don't know what I was going to be, but I was like, I'm going to be successful.
Just when you were a little girl, you just knew that whatever you were going to do, you were going to be the top
I remember
of
the
it.
first job I had was mowing lawns because I was like, my allowance is not enough, which was, by the way, like $2. Like, we got $2 a week for washing dishes. And I wanted something. I don't know if it was a Cabbage Patch Kid or something. And my mom's like, yeah, well, you better figure that out because we're not buying that. And I think my dad said he would give me $20 if I mowed the lawn. So I did it. And I remember the $20, and I was like, can I mow it again tomorrow? Because if I mow it every day this week, I will have $100. And my dad's like, that's not how the lawn works. Okay. But he said, you can mow other people's lawns. So I went and knocked on doors, like, can I mow your lawn? Can I mow your lawn? And then they were like, $5. I go, $5? What is this?
And I mean, do you ever get tired of people asking you about Desperate Housewives?
Never.
No?
Oh my God, no. My heart fills with joy. I was just in Portugal, and people are like, Gabby, and
They're right.
yeah, I'm so proud of what we had built. And in that time too, we were just talking about that, it was such a big moment in TV at that time. I remember it was like reality was taking over, and there wasn't a lot, and Housewives saved the network. It was like Housewives and Lost and Grey's Anatomy. We all came up in the same year, and it just changed the face of television, and Housewives specifically being such a global success. I remember going to London for press, and there were so many people around the hotel when we were pulling in, and I was like, oh my God, who's here? Is Bono here? Bono must be here. Somebody's here. And I asked the lady, I was like, who's here? And she goes, you. And I said, no, who are these people here to see? Like, I thought there was a concert happening. And she was confused, and I was confused, and we were just staring at each other. I'm like, I'm not hearing you. She's like, you're not understanding me. I'm like, I don't understand. I mean, the global impact it had of like going to another country and people know who you are, that was weird to me.
Did it change you at all?
I don't think so. I've had the same team
Yeah.
for 20 years. so they can tell you. When you come into any sort of fame, people around you change. Like, you don't necessarily change, but everybody around you changes, which sometimes then makes, they're making you feel more important, then maybe your ego gets bigger, or they're showering you with things, then you start to feel like you deserve them. And so I don't think I changed. I do think things changed. I stay at nicer hotels. I have nice shoes. But, do I love me a Walmart? Yes, I do. Do I love me a Target? Yes, I do.
Up next, stepping back in time. Welcome back. The ancient Italian city of Pompeii has been a source of fascination for nearly 2,000 years. And as Seth Doane found out, there are still more secrets to uncover.
The stone skeleton of this ancient city has emerged through centuries of excavations, an intriguing glimpse of another time. In what is now southern Italy, Pompeii was a bustling metropolis until an eruption from the mighty volcano Vesuvius engulfed it in ash nearly 2,000 years ago. At least 1/3 of the Roman city remains buried.
Much of Pompeii is still underneath us.
Yes, it's under our foot.
And that means the tantalizing discoveries continue.
This is one of the last pieces of Pompeii that we dig.
Kind of the newest part of Pompeii.
Exactly.
Raffaele Martinelli, part of the team at the archaeological site, took us to the house of the Lararium, not yet open to the public. When excavating, they often have no idea what they're discovering.
In the heart, we find a little hole.
And you think there might be something in there?
Yes, exactly.
So then Roberta comes along and
usually I say, please, Roberta, run here, I need you.
Roberta Prisco carefully pipes in plaster, filling the void left by whatever organic material disintegrated, be it one of the many victims of the disaster frozen in time, or an everyday item. The plaster hardens in the form of the object.
Has anyone seen this yet?
No, you are the first.
Creating a cast, in this case of a 2,000-year-old basket.
Pompeii was destroyed with a little dust, but hyperdense, so that the shape of this little object remain in the dust.
What do you learn from these new discoveries?
Well, it's like a puzzle. Every piece is important.
Gabriel Zuchtriegel is director of the Pompeii Archaeological Park. We met at the opulent House of the Vetti, which reopened in January after a 20-year restoration.
There is a fascination with the little details of life, seeing the little glasses or the plates or knowing about the food that they ate. It's those details that are the most interesting in some ways.
And then you put them into the larger picture, and then you can start thinking about, well, if this was the situation in Pompeii, what can we take from that for the economy and the society of the entire Roman Empire?
Pompeii has been imagined in art and fictionalized on film. We know it was a pagan society. It had crowded markets, fast food stalls, and fine art, with a remarkable appetite for the erotic. There were varying concepts of morality, slavery, and gladiator fights, but its amphitheaters, gardens, and daily objects feel familiar.
I will show you something really great.
Raffaele Martinelli took us to one of Pompeii's newest discoveries.
And welcome in a Roman bedroom.
He says they've never found a Roman bed anywhere so well preserved.
You can see in the site that we still have the foot of the bed. And under the foot of the bed, there is a piece of wood, you see? Probably to make more stable the bed.
Like you'd put a piece of wood under a table that's rocking.
Yes, this is a daily life trace that we find.
Sometimes these excavations begin for less virtuous reasons.
And it was dug initially by tomb raiders.
By tomb raiders.
Their underground labyrinth mapped here in 3D.
They would go alongside the walls to see if there were frescoes or anything valuable that they could then sell on the antiquities market.
Once professionals took over, they found bodies, believed to be a master and his slave, fleeing the eruption. Gabriel Zuchtriegel says these casts capture history.
They help seeing it in an almost scary way.
An almost scary way.
If you look into the face of someone who died during the eruption, and you think, what am I looking at? It's life, and it's a very intimate moment, the moment of death and agony.
But they're pieces of that historical puzzle.
Archaeology is not about treasures. It's like we find coins, so yeah, no, the coin as metal is not what we're looking for. It's the story it tells about the lives of these people.
Still, there's reason to keep some of Pompeii's stories buried for now.
It's likely that in the future there will be even more sophisticated methods which we can't imagine today.
You hold off and say, we trust that in the future they'll be better at doing this than we are today.
Absolutely.
I'm Tracy Smith. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you here next time on Here Comes the Sun.